I'm sure this has happened to you as a kid. You messed up, you're being told off, and suddenly, why are you getting such a strong urge to laugh? No, don't do it. Great, now you've got yourself a double punishment. But how did this happen? If anything, you should be sad and scared. Why is your brain then making you laugh? And why is it normal for people to cry at weddings? Well, what's till the end? Because so much about your life will suddenly make sense today. So, first of all, you need to understand that we actually know very little about the brain, less than you might think. It was only a few decades ago that we found out lobotomies, a brain surgery where you literally stick a rod into the patient's brain and start wiggling it around to sever random connections in the prefrontal cortex, were actually not a good cure for mental illnesses. And nowadays we have little idea how, for example, dreams and memories work. And we don't even know what some parts of the brain do. However, science has gotten much better, and our understanding of how the brain works in general is at least in the right track, which is what has allowed us to tackle questions like this one, even if just through external observations and experiments. And it turns out, in 2015, a team of psychologists wondered the same thing and decided to find an answer. I read the entire paper, so here's a quick rundown. Study 1 simply confirms the existence of these apparently contradictory feelings, which they call dimorphous expressions, through a bunch of surveys. Nothing new here. Just funnily enough, they found that when showing pictures of babies, the cuter the baby, the more aggressive feelings people developed. Like, you know when you see a small little kitty or puppy or chick and just want to squeeze it real hard? Yeah, that's also a type of dimorphous expression. Study 2, however, actually attempts to get an explanation. You see, there was the theory since 1998 that these opposing emotions came about to sort of counteract feelings that were too intense for the brain to handle, to kind of cancel them out. To find out if this was true, they again used baby pictures, but they measured how long people took to recover from the overwhelming feelings of cuteness after reporting, or not, feelings of aggression. What they found was that the people who felt aggression actually recovered faster from the cuteness. Wow, that sounds so weird. Anyway, that confirms that when that giggle slipped up at the wrong time, it was actually your brain coping with the overwhelming negative emotions caused by the scolding. But here's where something seems off, because humans are social beings, and our brains have adapted for that purpose. For example, we've developed mirror neurons, which cause us to, for example, want to yawn when we see someone else does, because similarities make people stick together, and historically, that's allowed groups of humans to survive more easily, spread their genes, and, well, you know the drill, evolution. But dimorphous expressions are kind of the opposite. Like, I've heard stories of people who heard terrible news about somebody and just started laughing uncontrollably. That is so awkward. If anything, it should separate communities. So why did we evolve to do this? Well, first of all, forget social purposes. If a behavior prevents us from being incapacitated by excessive feelings, it's clear how that could help from an evolutionary perspective. For example, it's been proposed that suppressing excessive cuteness may have helped parents stay more alert for any dangers towards them and their children, leading to greater survival rates, and there you have it again, natural selection. However, even though it may seem socially excluding at first, remember that empathy is a thing. So when we manifest these opposing emotions, we're also creating them in those around us. And if they are in the same overwhelming situation as us, this can actually lead to people mutually helping each other cope. Furthermore, dimorphous expressions can also show someone's vulnerability in a difficult moment, subconsciously encouraging other people to take care of them and strengthening social bonds. But hold on, this all seems a bit too abstract. How does a laugh help sadness or fear in any way if in the end it's a fake laugh? Well, here's the thing. When the brain detects muscular movements typical of a certain emotion, it actually starts releasing the hormones responsible for that emotion to reinforce it, even if these muscular movements are not genuine in the first place. This is the facial feedback hypothesis, and you can actually test it yourself. The effect is subtle, but if you just force yourself to smile, you will actually be a bit happier. And this even works if you artificially stimulate these muscles, like by, for example, biting a pencil. Oh, speaking of, you know when you involuntarily grin when going through strong pain or exercise? Yeah, that's another type of dimorphous expression. So, the next time you're crying at a wedding, or furious and start laughing, or giggle when embarrassed, or smile when offended, or manage to tell a joke just after a terrifying event, just know that it's the result of thousands of years of complex interactions between psychology, society, and evolution. And if you're scolding your child and they start laughing, maybe cut them some slack. Oh, by the way, my last video, the one about superpowers, did so well. Thank you all so much for helping me reach 400 subscribers. If you enjoyed this video, please join in so we can reach the 500 milestone. See you next time.